Okay, hello and welcome everyone to Product Insider. I'm Nelly, Product Marketing Manager at Fundraise Up, and today's session is all about the new peer-to-peer solution. And whether you've run peer-to-peer campaign for years or just starting to explore it, we're here to show you what we're building and why we think it changes what peer-to-peer can do. And for that, we have an incredible lineup with us today. From Fundraise Up, we have Brandon Knott, our Chief Product Officer, Rachel Nuwash, Senior Customer Success Manager, and Sean Stack, Senior Solution Consultant. But you can also notice that we have two very special guests from our rescue. It's one of the organization that has been part of this journey. It's Teresa Harland, Senior Vice President of Advancement, and Janine Vogelar, Senior Vice President of Marketing. But before we kick off, I would like to ask, and we're really curious if you share it in the chat, where are you joining from today and where are you with a peer-to-peer right now? Are you running it, thinking about it, or here to learn? It would really help us to understand who is in the room. And before we kick off, what we have for you today. So we will start with Brandon setting the stage. Give a look of the broader fundraising landscape. Then Rachel will take you through the product overview. We will also hear real-world examples straight from our rescue. After that, Sean will lead a live workshop, and we will close with a look at the roadmap and new features. Quick housekeeping notes. Please use the question feature for any product question you would like to answer. It may be hidden in a more button. Our team is right here in the chat throughout the session, so feel free to ask anything there as well. And don't worry, if you need to step away, we are recording everything. You will get a replay link and all resources afterward, so you can revisit anything and share it with your team. All right, let's get into it. And to kick us off, I'm going to hand it over to Brandon Knott. Brandon, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining. We're really excited to talk about peer-to-peer today and specifically some of the trends that we're seeing in the overall market and how we are approaching peer-to-peer. So let's start with some of the highlights. Last year, there was about $1.2 billion raised by the top 30 programs that executed peer-to-peer campaigns. That's enormous. That is everything you need from a market validation standpoint. This is a great way to raise money to leverage the networks of some of the critical fundraisers and supporters of an organization. And all of that money started with a conversation, right? It started with somebody saying, this cause is important to me. I want to engage my network. But as we'll see in our next slide, it's not all totally great, right? Of all of that money raised, there was a large portion of opportunity costs that didn't get capitalized on. 80% of fundraising campaigns didn't raise money. And a large portion of those went quiet only after the first few days, because if you don't get momentum, if you don't take those steps in order to start building the communication flow, the engagement of your network, it's really difficult to have the motivation to keep going. And furthermore, we see this drop in repeat donors. So it's kind of like two halves to the same coin. We have this great success, this great potential in what we can do with peer-to-peer. Yet when we look at some of the results, we see so much opportunity that was missed, so many chances to engage networks that didn't result in the goals. So if we think about the keys to success, they're pretty straightforward, right? In order to have a successful peer-to-peer, a successful fundraiser campaign, we need a network, right? If I'm passionate about running marathons, clearly I've got a network of friends and family and other people who share my same passion that I want to engage. Okay, check. Now I need a story. What is it about the cause that I'm running this marathon for that identifies kind of my passions that I connect with, that I can bring other people into that story? This is where so many people fall down, and being able to tell their story, being able to share their passion and get other people engaged. And then we need that momentum, right? We saw the huge statistic of campaigns that stall because that network was there, the story was there, but the engagement didn't start out fast enough, didn't start attracting eyeballs and interest. So with that, we have rethought the peer-to-peer process. And so what's changed? Well, the first is that we have to acknowledge that in this day and age, there's a tremendous amount of competition for your time, both for other nonprofit organizations, as well as life, as well as hobbies, family, jobs, whatever the case may be. So we need AI to help give us tools and options in order to compete in this very noisy landscape that we find ourselves in. We also need that first 48-hour activation. This is actually our core metric for how we're building this next generation of tools. We want to see immediate acceleration from the campaign. That means helping people reach out, maybe even overcoming some of the fears of asking people for money and getting those campaigns going. We'll talk more about that in the demo here shortly. And also, what does this AI native world do for us in these contexts? Well, it helps us with content creation. It helps us with moderation. It helps us to make sure that the messaging that we want from a nonprofit standpoint actually gets implemented and used by our fundraisers, so that our fundraisers are using the same language and the same kind of value statements that we are. So I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention something really, really big and important that we hear all the time from our customers and just the nonprofit industry in general. Most of our larger customers out there have a very strong need for a single donor record. We hear time and time again, I have these different systems that I may use. They don't all send the donor record to the same place. And so with Fundraise Up, as we think about what we're doing with pledges, with our online donation platform, with peer-to-peer, with these different surfaces, our in-person donations, all of those donations map back to the same record. And that means that we can much more effectively engage our donors. That means that we can market to them. That means that we can thank them and show our appreciation when they have been with us through these different experiences. So you're going to hear that a little bit more as well as we talk through the demo and the rest of this presentation. And we really see being able to provide these different ways to engage with a nonprofit, yet still have one common record and system as being a really critical feature of how we're approaching the donor experience. So with that, I'll hand it over to Rachel, who will talk about some of the specific elements of the program and how we're creating value. Rachel?
Perfect. Thanks, Brandon. And hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Newash, and I am so happy to be here. For 20 years, I have been living and breathing peer-to-peer fundraising at various nonprofits, and I know the importance of when donors and participants feel confident. The other importance is campaigns have to feel personal, and organizations have to have the tools to be able to scale. So that's the magic that I've been chasing. And quite frankly, it does not exist on any other platform right now available to nonprofits today. So it's a lot of why I am so fired up about what we're building at Fundraise Up. So this isn't just another peer-to-peer tool. We rethought the entire experience from scratch for the nonprofit, for the fundraiser, and for the donor. So this makes peer-to-peer much easier to launch, much easier to trust, and way, way, way more effective at turning community into real impact. So I can't wait to show you what we have built and what we're building. So when I step back as someone rooted in peer-to-peer fundraising, I see a lot of my former peer-to-peer colleagues on this webinar. When I say rooted, I mean it. I mean the 3 a.m. wake-up calls, the ice trucks, the route marking, the trash, so much trash, weather contingency planning, and more. I have a lot of passion for making sure we get this technology right. Every day I ask myself in my role here at Fundraise Up, what really is the biggest difference Fundraise Up is doing here? And what stands out to me is this AI native platform that Brandon noted. It really is this single intelligence layer, essentially, running the whole fundraiser journey. And what we're going to show you today is that one engine powering every single step. So helping fundraisers launch faster, which is so critical, staying on brand, which is important to us as nonprofits, raising more money with less work from your team. And again, that's probably the biggest music to my ears, and I hope it is to you too. So Brandon noted some of these stats about, stale fundraising performance right out the gate. And it's just this mystery that's really challenging to crack. And what keeps me up at night is that on the leading top enterprise peer-to-peer platform, 75% of fundraisers raise $0. It's not a motivation problem. These people are coming in, they're so excited about the mission, they have a very personal connection. But what we're seeing when we started to build our Fundraise Up tool is that blank page is really the problem. So people show up ready to go, but they hit that empty text box and simply freeze. So that's what our AI coach fixes. Instead of them starting from scratch, we ask one simple question, and I can't wait for you to see my colleague Sean demo this. And AI turns that into a personal story in their voice. It builds it in then to their live personal page. It pushes them for those first key steps, which is personalization, self-donation, and sharing. Again, the most beautiful music to our ears as fundraisers. And then that AI coach keeps going, nudging them of when to share again, when to post an update, when to thank a donor. So that momentum actually turns into dollars for your mission. So I joke about this, but it's really important to me. I run every technology solution through the lens of my 13-year-old son versus my 70-year-old dad. I call it my 13 versus 75 test. So technology has to be easy and not annoying for my son. It has to be simple and not feel like a scam. My dad thinks everything's a scam for my dad. And if you have an aging parent, you know exactly what that learning curve is looking like. And if you have a teenager, you definitely know the expectations they have for this evolving world. And I'm proud to say our peer-to-peer tool passes my 13 versus 75-year-old test. So hang tight again, because we're going to show you more detail, but I just wanted to note that. So for nonprofits, AI isn't just about speeding things up for our fundraisers. We heard a lot that it's also about protecting your brand. So every single page that's created to raise money for you carries your name. Your fundraisers really pour their passion into creating that, and that's what makes it so powerful. But we want to make sure that we allow them to be personal and share their passion without losing control of our brand. So that's really why brand safety is something that we made a priority with this tool. It's brand safety that works well for teams big and small. It uses AI to review each page, flag what needs attention. So titles, stories, cover images, let's see what else, updates, comments, etc. It flags it. It doesn't take it down. Your team gets to decide. So pages stay live. Momentum keeps going for that fundraiser, but you still have the final say as an organization. Does this meet our brand? You're going to hear from Janine and Teresa about why that was so important to our rescue. And I think it's helpful to hear from both an advancement standpoint and a marketing standpoint why this platform feature matters a lot. So finally, why I'm so personally excited, if you couldn't tell already, giving has to be easy. And it has to be easy, as Brandon said, in this world where we are just flooded with so much information. And that is where Fundraise Up has an edge that no other peer-to-peer platform can even touch. Every donation, whether it comes through your fundraisers page or straight from your website, runs through that same Fundraise Up checkout, the one that converts at 3 times the industry average. So I'm going to say that again, 3 times the industry average. Now all of your peer-to-peer campaigns will be converting at 3 times the industry average. So donors get that same fast, familiar checkout experience. Our fundraisers that we care so deeply about and we want to help get to see in real time and feel their outreach working. They can thank their donors quickly. And then what I think is important, but sometimes gets overlooked, is that your organization gets every donation in one record. You don't have silos. You don't have dupes. You don't have another second vendor to wrangle. And no matter how someone is engaging with the organization, they're getting that same great experience. So again, fundraisers bring the heart, and our job at Fundraise Up is to turn it into the dollars. Again, that's what I'm most proud of. It happens when you take the time to build peer-to-peer the right way from day one, the way we have. We're listening to our organizations. We're building a tool that will work for this very evolving and dynamic fundraising landscape. So Eek, I have to say, I've spent 20 years waiting for this, and Fundraise Up has built it. So let's see it in action. And I want to welcome our, as Nellie said, very special guests from our rescue, Teresa and Janine. I'm especially excited to include them in this presentation because I always think it's really important to hear from practitioners that are actually leading this work on the ground. And I love that we're hearing from a leader in marketing and a leader in advancement. Their mission does hit home for me as a mom of 3 boys. Keeping my kids safe online and in our community is really important. Human trafficking isn't some far off issue. It's happening everywhere in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and our rescues work matters so much to keeping our kids safe. So with that, I'll welcome Teresa and Janine.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. It is so fun to be on this webinar with all of our guests today, and they are a lot of guests. It's been fun to see everybody around the world, quite frankly. So Janine and I are thrilled to be here, and I just want to hearken back and say our gratitude to Rachel and her team. This really all got started when Rachel and her team came to Salt Lake City and spent time with our rescue. And I just need to say this to your audience that those of us in advancement and marketing, we have all kinds of vendors that we work with and we pay for their services. And we often will get the amazing demo and you sign up and then they walk away. I have to give huge props to the Fundraise Up team because they came to Salt Lake City. They spent 2 days. They demonstrated that they care about the work that we do in trafficking and child exploitation, bringing an end to that. And they sat with us. It wasn't about just their platform, but they were helping us think about strategy. And one of the things that came out of that robust conversation was, hey, we're ready to launch this P2P. And the month of July for us at Our Rescue is a hallmark month where we engage, we bring awareness, and we certainly fundraise around Anti-Trafficking in Persons Day, July 30th. And so Rachel and her team said, if you guys can get your act together, let's pull the trigger next week and let's launch this. And we thought, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to ride into this and we're going to pull the trigger. And so we are still learning and we are going to use P2P even more. But what Janine and I wanted to quickly share with the audience was our introduction into P2P in a really critical month for us, that being July. So as Rachel said, my name is Teresa Harlan. I have over 30 years of fundraising and financial background. I've been at Our Rescue for 2.5 years. This is an amazing organization. Our mission is like no other. And I feel very, very lucky to get up and work for this organization and this mission every day, because I know that if we are able to save one kid, that matters. That could be any one of our own children. And this world there should never be a place for exploiting our children or people. So this is a little bit about us. You can take a snapshot. Nellie, I'll have you move forward. Janine, am I taking this slide?
Hello? I can't hear anybody. Rachel, am I still speaking?
I can hear you now, Janine.
Yep, we
Okay,
can hear you.
I'm gonna back up. Okay. Sorry,
Okay,
everybody.
introduce yourself, Janine, and take it.
Yeah, of course the technology pauses. Of course. No, hi everybody. I'm Janine Vogelaar. I run the marketing and communications at our rescue. I think what's important to know is Teresa and I work very closely hand in hand. We often describe ourselves as we're on the same fishing boat, and we're both fishing for donations and support for the organization. And Teresa really looks at that as things from a deep sea fishing, and I'm often in the net. But we work very closely together. And when it came to this discussion around our Rise Up 2026 campaign, it was peer-to-peer was always part of the conversation. But one of the challenges we've had with peer-to-peer is that, we had a technology challenge. We had done peer-to-peer through often Facebook, and the challenge is you're just not getting a lot of that information about every single donor. Peer-to-peer has been very successful because you've got a chance for people to bring their own network in. They may not be aware of our organization. But what we were running into challenges and what we had this great conversation with Fundraise Up is that this platform was able to give us a more engaging experience. Personalization was a wonderful piece for us, and that's something that our audience cared a lot about. But we had gone through a rebrand. And so one of the big challenges was how do we still demonstrate who we want to be going forward, not part of our old history, and make sure that's moderated. And that's what was something that we really were excited about, is having that stronger moderation controls to protect the brand, to make sure that the language is accurate and reflective of who we are and have been for the last couple of years. Um, of course, having a checkout experience that makes it easy. I want a world that makes it easy. And so, I think, as Rachel talked about, every generation wants a world that makes it easy. So we really appreciated that factor. And then, of course, being the most up to date in it, we want part of that making it easy is to make sure that those who are setting up, those who are wonderful supporters who want to tell others about the work that we do, we want to make it easy for them too. We are lucky that an organization that we have a lot of people raising their hand to say, how can we help? And it doesn't need to be deep pockets. It just needs to be a big network and to share the work that we do. And that's what we're really excited about, some of those AI powered activations. The one thing I want to go to say before we go to the next slide is that it was important that this peer-to-peer was part of a larger campaign. Like Teresa mentioned, this is a big awareness day. So we had a lot of different things going, and we wanted to make sure that people had a chance to do multiple touch points, whether it's peer-to-peer or a one to, a singular donation, but not limit it. And that's what a lot of these tools helped us be able to do and create and make that easier for our great supporters to get involved. You want to go to the next slide? And then what we also really loved is this big thing that I mentioned earlier about Facebook fundraiser, that beyond the share button. So of course, Facebook fundraisers work, they're valuable, but what we always were frustrated by is that I only got the information from that one person who created that fundraiser. I didn't get any other information. And as a marketer who cares, and I know Teresa deeply cares about that donor information, now we are able to capture all of that other information. So maybe they just gave because their neighbor supported this organization, but now we have a chance to continue to market them next month, the month after, and certainly at end of year. And that was one of the big values for us, that it really was not the initial dollar that they might have given as part of that peer-to-peer, but that ongoing relationship. We really do believe in developing ongoing relationships with every donor of all levels. And this is what this tool was allowing us to do, is to create what's the next message and how can we continue to connect with them going forward. Reoccurring is a big part of our revenue program. And so converting those one-time peer-to-peer partners into a recurring is always part of that strategy as we move that through, as well as filling that single donor record. So we just look at it as they might come in one day and support their friend on their peer-to-peer fundraiser and provide us maybe a single $20 gift, but the exponential value to continue to talk with them for years to come is where we saw this really great opportunity. And there is nothing like what peer-to-peer really becomes as a testimonial. There's nothing like that referral handover of I'm supporting this organization because I know my friend or family member cares about this too. It's very different than an organization coming into a net new donor relationships. So that's something that we were really valued in this work. And then my other favorite part is why this was successful is Teresa and her team did an amazing job of finding an event match. So I want to let Teresa take that over.
Thanks, Janine. Yeah, we know at our rescue, as Janine was saying, she's fishing with a huge net, and then she's throwing those bigger fish over to my team, and then we're going deep sea fishing. We went deep sea fishing with one of our major donors, and they understood that we understood at our organization the power of the match. We have over the years motivated and inspired our donors with matches. And every time, whether that's in July or whether that's towards the end of the year, our traditional donors, they show up and they take advantage of that match. So we were able during the month of July to secure a match of 250, and we more than doubled our 250 with all the gifts that we received during that month. So if you have an opportunity to secure a match with your peer-to-peer opportunity, we can certainly share with you that often leverages more gifts and bigger gifts. The other thing that I maybe want to take a step back is another reason why we're really excited about peer-to-peer is at least at our rescue, we don't have a footprint, if you will. We aren't a college. We aren't a university. We aren't a regional office of an American Cancer Society where people go to that location to have their engagement. We have no footprint. We are all over the world. We are in all 50 states, and we are a remote workforce. So what I'm really excited about this peer-to-peer product is we can kind of treat it like an event, right? And we can drive our donors through this peer-to-peer platform and have them feel like they're attending an event at our rescue. So next page, please. So here are just some of the early signals of the match. For one-time gifts of over $100, we raised about $420 just from that pool of donors who took advantage of the match. And then to Janine's point, we had almost 200 new recurring gifts of $20. Now, you might be thinking, oh, 11,500, that's not so great, but times it by at least 3 in our case. We know that we retain our donors on average at least 36 months, if not more. So if we sign somebody up for a new $20 monthly gift, that's what we get from that group for 1 year. We know that we can 3 times that, if not more. So then the pot becomes far more sizable. So, and then I will also say, just anecdotally, we were able to use our match to also secure a new $500,000 family foundation gift also at the beginning of July. We didn't want to spend it all on that one donor, and they understood that, but they were inspired to get in the game and make their first gift to us in July.
So I think I've got the next slide. This was just our example that we did in July, but January is also National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And as part of that campaign, like I mentioned earlier, peer-to-peer is part of that. We've always had an Ask 11, Give 11. It's just $11, and it's asking your 11 friends to give $11 because remember, we're looking for a long-term relationship, and we're just asking them to come in the door for a small gift of only $11. This is coming right off the heels of the end of year, so we're conscious of that cost. But by building out this community of people who are engaging with their book club or their, women's group or their, family members or friend group to create a movement within your volunteer and your donor base to connect with more and more people. That takes a lot of the pressure off small organizations. So we look at kind of where we can really maximize peer-to-peer. Of course, peer-to-peer shows up even in the rest of the year. If people want to do a fundraising for their birthday, there's lots of ways to engage with that, but those are some of the big kind of tent poles for us to look at that. What's next? we want to jump to the next slide, I know we're running late. What we'd want to share is that use the tool to put it on every channel. Create opportunities that people can use this and to be part of their giving. They may not even think about it. So just make it something available to consider. We love that this tool makes it easy and creates easy messaging. They don't have to work hard and think about what they want to say. It's all available. And so we love that it provides the tool to do that. And then bring lifetime value over time is something that's always important to us. And so it takes time to build new territories. We're a global brand and we're working hard to build it within select markets. And no, we can't kind of boil the ocean at one time. But peer-to-peer traction looks to where your audience is deepest and strongest, and that's where a lot of that time is spent. Any questions we are available to answer, but thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for Fundraise Up for letting us speak about it and supporting so much of the work that we're doing in our nonprofit.
Great. Janine, Teresa, thank you so much. We are going to save questions until the end. So please keep putting those in the Q&A chat and we'll be happy to get those answered. So I'm excited you all teed us up for the power of what our new peer-to-peer platform can accomplish and what you're planning for already with the Ask 11, Give 11. And I'd now like to introduce my friend and colleague, Sean Staggs. We go way back in the peer-to-peer space. I learn a lot from Sean every day, and I'm excited for you to see him demo what this actually looks like. So Sean, take it away.
Hi, thanks, Rachel. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Staggs. I'm one of our solutions members here at Fundraise Up. I see some familiar faces in the room. As Rachel said, I've been in the space for a while. I spent about 17 years at the National MS Society as a fundraiser in the field, running events, and as the director of digital fundraising and digital experience for their peer-to-peer campaigns. I also spent a couple of years as a marketing consultant for a nonprofit agency in this space. So I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about peer-to-peer today and show you our new peer-to-peer. Now, as we flip screens around, let me just double check I've got everything showing where it's supposed to be showing. All right, there we go. So the cool thing about peer-to-peer is that it's about relationships and storytelling. Those are really the keys here. And Janine and Teresa really proved that with our rescue and talking through that. The cool thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is for an organization, it really allows you to extend your mission beyond the constituents you already know that are in your house file into their networks of those people that they know, really extending the reach and impact of your organization. Successful peer-to-peer fundraising has to solve a couple of real challenges. The first one is that, every organization wants their experience to reflect their brand, be on mission, have the same message, and look and feel like every other digital asset that they have in their for their organization. On the other side, not everybody's a natural fundraiser. Everybody certainly is not comfortable asking for money. And even people that care deeply and are passionate about your mission may not be good storytellers. They might not know how to tell a compelling story. So we're going to look at Fundraise Up today and the peer-to-peer in those three lenses, right? First, we're going to look at it from the company's perspective, what it looks like to tell a good story and be on brand. We're going to look at it from the fundraiser's perspective, the participant, what it feels like and looks like to register and try to raise money for that organization you're passionate about. And then, of course, the last group there is that donor, and seeing what that donation experience looks like for the participants network of people that come to donate for them. Because we know that individuals donating to peer-to-peer events are typically donating because of the ask from the individual and the relationship they have with that individual. So telling a compelling story is pretty important. We'll go back to the beginning of the story. The story is, as an organization, you have to tell a compelling story to get people to act. Now, you have a lot of people that are motivated and excited about your mission, but you still have to have a good, clear call to action and a good way for them to be engaged. That's your peer-to-peer landing page. That's what we're looking at here. Unlike a lot of platforms, with Fundraise Up, your peer-to-peer landing page is a page on your website. You have complete control over it. Your logo, your branding, your colors, your image, your fonts, and you design it how you want that experience to be. If you're already a Fundraise Up customer, you see some of those standard elements, the donate buttons, the start a fundraiser. We have lots of tools to tell a compelling story and engage your audience. Those stock tickers, the trackers, statistics, your leaderboards. We have information you want to tell top fundraisers, top teams. These elements that you can place on your page to continue to tell the story and make sure that if it's appropriate for the type of campaign you're running, that you drive a little sense of competition between individuals and teams, right? If you want, you can even add a carousel of an easy way to search for your participants and present who your participants are. You can provide impact statements, even show impact locations, and show where people are fundraising from. So that's how you tell your story as an organization and drive people to the page. Now, what happens once you've gotten me here? I'm that participant. Your great marketing got me to the website. I'm here. I've read the story. I love trees. My wife's from Brazil. I've seen the Amazon. They are truly a world treasure. I think they need to be saved. So I'm here and I'm passionate. What am I going to do? I'm going to start that fundraiser. So let's see what it looks like to register as a fundraiser and how that experience looks. I'll click that start a fundraiser. You know what? I'm doing this kind of on my own. It's my passion. My birthday's coming up. I think I'm going to dedicate my birthday to the rainforest. So I'm going to register as an individual. I could, of course, participate on an existing team, start my own team. And if I'd already participated with this organization, I could log in and streamline that whole process. But I'm going to register as an individual. Now, I said I was going to do this birthday. This choosing a reason helps you drive inspiration as the organization on the way that person is going to fundraise. It will allow you to personalize the journey downstream in the imagery and the content that you share with them after they've started engaging. I'll pick my birthday. Now we come into this next problem. I'm passionate. I'm super excited. I love trees. I'm not really a good storyteller. I'm not terribly good with words. So we have our AI assistant in here that's generative AI that will help me tell a story. So I'm going to say, hey, I love trees, especially the bonsai. I don't know. I like those cute little trees. They're fun. And I'm going to let it tell a compelling story. Remember, the people I share this with, they're going to give because I asked them to, but a compelling story is going to get more of my network in. And in just a few seconds, you can see here, I now have something much more compelling than just saying I love trees. And they've even brought in some of the specifics about the beauty of the bonsai and how my unique story and my voice came in to tell a unique story. Now, Rachel mentioned the moderation, and that scales. You're worried about inappropriate content. We've got you covered. When we get to the point of how you craft this as an organization, how our rescue did it, we'll show you on the back end that content moderation piece. For now, I'll finish registering. I continue. I can set a goal. I can set a target date for when I'm going to finish fundraising, because maybe my birthday is September 3rd, and that's going to be the day that I expect to hit my goal. I hit continue, and then I'm going to enter my personal information. I can do that streamlined by using socials. I'll log in and I'll create my page. You'll notice I didn't even get asked if I wanted to add a photo. That's because we're streamlining the registration process to make sure we get you in here and take that first action of getting you registered. Now, here's my fundraising page. You can see this is my page. I can manage it because I'm logged in as Steve. We're on brand. We've got some basic content, default content, the organization's logo. You can see my story here, which I could edit, of course. We have the social interactions and updates. I can write a blog that my network can interact with. They can leave comments as I tell the story about my progress for fundraising for the trees for my birthday. You can see that there's easy ways to donate here. And the cool thing is Our donation experience that you're familiar with, that industry leading best in class conversion revenue generating engine is now part of peer-to-peer. We've taken that and just dropped it right in so that you get all of the amazing AI and machine learning optimizations that we've put in for the last 10 years into our product, now into peer-to-peer. I also have easy ways to share because people don't like to ask for money. So the easier I make it, the better. Now I'll go in here. And if I were on a team page, that team page would look something like this, right? Where now we have Maggie's Heroes and it's organized by the team captain. I can see the roster and everybody's individual participations. I can see the team total. If I were Maggie, I would be able to edit this page. If I want to make a donation, let's go through that donation experience. We just saw me register and how easy it was to create my fundraising page and share it and manage it. I didn't show you how to edit the photo, but that was on one of those edit pages under the little pencil. No big deal. So let's make a donation to Daria. She sent me a message and I'm good friends with her and really want to help support her. I have my quick and easy pop-up. I can give once, I can give monthly. Our rescue talked about how impactful it was to have recurring gifts in peer-to-peer fundraising. This is new, this is something exciting, and we'll love to talk details about how that works in action. But let's make that donation. I'm going to make that $60 donation. This still has all of those AI optimizations that we have in our standard donation form. I'll donate. I can say, I want to be involved, great work, make a comment. Now I have some AI upsells. Again, if you're familiar with our product, you'll know all about this. Ask us more if you're not. I'll keep this. Streamlined registration. I just need a couple of pieces of information to give them to make my donation. Of course, I can't talk and type very well, so apologies. Today is not the day for typos. I'll pick my fake credit card. Don't worry, I'm not giving you my real credit card. If you try this on Amazon, it will not work. You can cover costs. Again, AI functionality here for machine learning to optimize your revenue and conversion. And I'm done. I have my thank you, and I have an option to share with socials. Very quick and easy, same kind of experience. I come back to Maggie's page, and you can see, happy to help. Hope this helps. Here's my $63 donation right there live in real time. So you get that nice little adrenaline bump because it's fast and easy. Okay, so now we saw what it will look like to build the page and tell the story from the corporation standpoint. I registered and created my fundraising page, and I also made a donation to Daria. Let's take a look at what this looks like on the back end to create this experience. So we'll go into the back end. If you are already a customer, you'll recognize this Insights page. This is our standard admin panel. As Rachel mentioned, we try to keep all of this all in one product. We haven't shoehorned peer-to-peer on top of our donation product. We haven't tried to create some Frankenstein of building two modules and setting next to each other. It's all one product. So you'll notice here, this is the same. You have some new navigations on the left, P2P campaigns and P2P fundraisers. You probably don't see them in your admin panel today. Brandon will talk about when those are coming out for everybody. So let's go in and look at that P2P campaign. This is the one we were looking at. You can see I can set up my logo, all of the data points that I need to make sure that I get marketing attribution and financial attribution for every gift for the P2P fundraiser, for the campaign, for the team captain, and all of that goes into my CRM. I choose my fundraising occasions. I can pick separate images and stories and messages for each fundraising occasion, providing a very personalized pass-through. If you need designations for restricted giving, you can include those. You can add additional questions if you need more information beyond the basics, right? We know that asking more questions is a drop-off. We want to optimize for conversion, but we do know that that data is important and sometimes you need it, including legal information. So with a peer-to-peer fundraiser, you may have some sort of waiver or disclaimer or something that needs to be signed before they acknowledge to participate. We've got you covered here. For your fundraiser pages, you can set up individual and team page goals and social sharing messages. And then in the checkout, this is where you design that compelling, unique fundraising experience for the donor and what the donation amounts are, whether they're personalized, whether they can add a tribute, whether we're adding cost coverage. All of the standard features that you get with Fundraise Up donation experience are part of peer-to-peer here. So that's what it looks like to build the campaign, create those elements, put them on your website. And then the last thing I'm going to show you before I hand this over to Brandon to talk about where we're headed is the content moderation. So under the peer-to-peer fundraisers, you'll see every single fundraiser is right here for us to review. Needs a review, is reviewed. I get all the details. I can click in. This is the page that I just created. It's got my image, my information, all of the content. I can go in, I can review that content, I can edit it if I want to edit it for that individual because maybe I need to delete that image right away. I can do that here. And then once I've reviewed the content, I can either pause the fundraiser or approve its content and make it published live. If I pause it, I've just removed it from our website and it's no longer visible to the public. That's how quick and easy it is to do content moderation. This is scalable. So that's where we stand with peer-to-peer today. And Brandon, I'm going to pass it off to you to tell where we're headed.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. I know with 1 hour, we're packing a lot in. So thanks everybody. Sean, that was excellent. I got to watch some of the comments in the chat, and even Sean, you answered some of the comments in the chat through the presentation. So that was excellent. One thing before I talk about the roadmap that I want to comment on was something that I saw a great question about AI. And I think it's important to make a quick note about it because we sometimes when we hear AI, we assume that it's running in some sort of uncontrolled context or it can go and take actions on behalf of us that maybe weren't approved. What Sean showed you was a really, I think, effective use of AI where the human still has the control. The human is the one that is taking the benefit from that content creation, but Sean's still going to read that and make sure it works for him before he makes his post as a fundraiser. Or in that content moderation section, we're using AI to do really intelligent assessments of what approved content should look like. And we're flagging that to the person. And I really like this, human in the loop is the term for the use of AI, because we're still giving the power and the authority to the people who know best about their brand and how they want to use that information. But we're using AI we like to think of it as like making them a superhero, right? Giving them the extra powers to be more effective, to scale better, to do more with the time that they have. So great question in there. I really appreciate how we think and talk about AI in this context because it's really important that we describe how we're using it and the theory behind that. So let's talk about roadmap. This will be a very high level discussion, and I would welcome the chance to have more conversations with anyone in the future as you work through your contacts at Fundraise Up. But essentially, where we're at today is we have a number of customers using our DIY solution in early access. And early access is what we have. It's a program that allows some of our customers to come in, use the features as they're being built. We talk with them constantly about what's happening. We get feedback, and it's a really great way for people who are willing and ready to get started to get access early to some of these features. Then on October 5th, we open it up to anyone who wants to be part of that program, where we have a lot of interest and we're ready for it. We are building towards that, as I'll show you in a minute. And then we start with the next chapter of this with our events section, where we will be expanding the functionality specifically focused on events. And then you'll see that open up in early 2027. I'd like to pull that in even further, but at Fundraise Up, we always try and be transparent and realistic with our timings. So beginning of 2027 is the target. But like I said, I'm always looking for opportunities to accelerate that. And if we go to our next slide. So just to give you a sense of kind of what the pace looks like and where we're at today. So the folks that are in our early access program get new releases almost weekly. And in those weekly releases, we have new functionalities. In fact, today is release day for us for this week. And we have a couple very anticipated, a few very anticipated features being released. Certainly, this isn't a complete list, but we try and just highlight some of the main features that are being released. And you can imagine we have a kind of a steady pace leading up to the beginning of October, things that need to be completed there. That's something that we talk about with our customers, and we actually get the feedback from our customers to help us say, hey, this is what I really need. I want, this feature accelerated sooner. It's going to give me more utility, more reach, etc. And we take that feedback extremely seriously, and it's really, really critical to the program. So moving on, what's next? Just a couple other things, right? There are some questions in the comments that I was reading. We do have a fundraisers product today that has quite a robust set of functionality. We will, in this next iteration here that we're building, it's really all that and more, right? So we look at expanding that, and you'll see at the bottom those AI scenarios, right? If I go back to the earlier comment, right, the AI coach, which helps give suggestions to improve the experience of me as a fundraiser reaching out to my network, right? I want to take some of the fear and scariness out of asking people for money. The AI coach is your tool in order to help give you recommendations for that. The storytelling, Sean showed that. Sean also showed the content moderation, right? All of these AI features very much controlled and in a limited scope that helps me as a fundraiser or as an administrator take on these tasks that I have in order to be successful. So again, simplified version here, but just to say there's a clear path from fundraisers to our new peer-to-peer platform, which is being built, and there'll be more on that information coming out in the coming weeks. And a couple other call outs. Peer-to-peer is not the only surface that we're expanding to. We've launched Gift Card a couple months ago and really gotten some great feedback and utilization from that, because we're essentially giving donors a different way to engage with nonprofits. It's more visual, it's more impactful from a storytelling standpoint. And we find that depending on the scenario, the direct donate is very powerful. Or if you want to tell a story, it gives people opportunities to engage with the brand a little bit more. Gift card is a perfect way to do that. We opened up DAF. DAF is a very fast growing segment in terms of payment methods for nonprofits. And now you can use DAF within campaigns. Another thing that I'm very excited about is our Tap to Donate and Giving Station initiatives, where in-person giving is so critical for so many nonprofits that now we're providing two opportunities, one on a mobile device and one on a fixed giving station or kiosk, where donors can easily engage with a nonprofit and then provide payment and their donations in a way that is, again, along the lines of how they want to engage. So many more to tell about this, but there's just a quick summary of what's been happening here over the last few months at Fundraise Up. And then after that, we have one teaser coming up. We've started to talk about Agentic Giving and what that means. This next generation of tools for whether it's ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude, where most people are engaging with not just one, but a couple different tools at any given point in time. And we're looking at what the future looks like when somebody wants to complete a transaction using one of these chat tools. And how does that add to the possible experiences that a nonprofit provides and does not distract or detract or take away? So please join us for that. A lot of exciting perspectives. I'll be joined by Nick and Will, who are both experts in their respective fields, and we'll be sharing a lot about where we see this going, this space, and how Fundraise Up is looking to enable it.
Thank you, Brandon. It's super exciting to see you where we are going. So yes, we would love to see you on our next Product Insider. Please scan QR code, but also keep an eye on for the invite in your emails. And of course, a huge thank for Teresa and Janine from our rescue for sharing their story, and to our incredible team for making this session happen. And of course, thank you, all of you, for spending this time with us, for your amazing questions, and the most important, for the work that you do every day. So please take care, everyone, and we will see you in the next Product Insider. Bye-bye.